Kyle Austin here with Mike Griffith at Spartan Stadium on National Signing Day for Michigan State. Michigan State's got 22 new guys, Mike. They signed a lot of these guys over the summer. I feel like today they missed out on some guys that maybe could have added a little bit. How do you overall assess how things ended up for Michigan State?
I think in the big picture, I think Michigan State's actually pretty happy with this class, that nobody got flipped from them. They were so happy with the guys that they got, Kyle. As you mentioned, just because they got them early, the class may not seem as dynamic as in the past because there's no real late ads. Mm-hmm. There were 3 or 4 guys that obviously Michigan State was in on that, they would have taken. But at the same time, if you look at the needs, the way they met it with 4 wide receivers and 3 defensive linemen, some potential impact players, Mark D'Antonio was talking about Brandon Randall, a 5-star in his opinion, regardless of the services. So I think Michigan State met their needs and feel pretty good about the class.
I guess we should talk about the one surprise today, which is Austin Robertson. Did not sign a national letter of intent. Comes out that he does have a little bit of legal problems stemming from a misdemeanor battery charge. Mark D'Antonio was asked today if he could add anybody else. He said it's a possibility. Do you think that they're waiting for that legal situation to clear up, or how do you see that playing out?
Based on the history, and just guesstimating this based on Michigan State history, I wouldn't expect them to give the scholarship papers to a guy that's going through a legal situation right now, especially when that it could be rectified as early as another week or 2. Let it play out in court. Mark D'Antonio isn't going to come out and throw anybody under the bus and proclaim that this guy doesn't have an offer or anything. We saw that with J. Rue Campbell a couple of years ago. But obviously, Austin Robertson's got a situation going on in Fort Wayne, Indiana that's got to play itself out. Mm-hmm. And then Mark D'Antonio and Michigan State, I would guess, would make an educated decision based on how that situation plays itself out. But you're right, he's a top 100 guy. He's a defensive end that could be a potential impact player, a guy that Michigan State really wants. But not to the point where they're going to get that scholarship involved with things that are going on legally.
All right, now talk about guys that are here. Mark D'Antonio, first position group he brought up was wide receiver. And I think that's the place where maybe we see the most guys on the field next year. There's 4 guys. I think they might all be 4-stars. Right. Is that kind of the standout group to you in this class?
I think so. I think it's the impact group. You look at a guy like Donnie Corley, and if you go back and rewind and you look at the Alabama-Michigan State game, what if Calvin Ridley changes teams? And he's able to get that open for Connor Cook, right? So I think Michigan State needed to get a little bit more speed and explosivity out there on the perimeter. And I see guys like Donnie Corley and Justin Lane, a guy with a 39-inch vertical out of Ohio, number 1 receiver out of Ohio. I mean, this guy can get it done. Cam Chambers, real smooth receiver, real accomplished. And Tristan Jackson, just a playmaker, really a triple threat quarterback, wide receiver, ran the ball over there, West Bloomfield. These are all guys that you're going to want to see Michigan State get the ball in their hands. And talking with Dave Warner today, he said, you're always looking to tweak and simplify a little bit. Maybe change things up where receivers can learn one position. Typically, they want their receivers to know all 3 of the receiver positions before they put them out there. But with these guys and the type of skill sets they have, Kyle, maybe they simplify it, let them learn one position, and go ahead and let R.J. Shelton be the floater.
So 22 guys on this list. I mean, obviously some are going to play, some aren't. But can you give us maybe 2 or 3 other names that maybe could have a immediate impact or could be big names down the road?
I think Demetric Vance is a guy that everybody's really excited about. He's a safety from Cass Tech, and they're going to, and included that is they're going to start him out as a corner. That to me is where there's some still immediate playing time. Mm-hmm. So you throw Vance out there maybe to compete for playing time with Austin Andrews, the other incoming corner. So you got a couple of guys you're going to throw into the corner position. But Vance is a really athletic guy. Also played receiver at Cass, real accomplished athlete. I think he's the kind of guy that will play somewhere as a true freshman. And then obviously Josh King, the defensive end out of Illinois. I mean, this guy is 6'6" and wrestling heavyweight this year. So I guess he's going 255, 265, ranked number 1 in the state of Illinois. Just an absolute explosive, dynamic playmaker. He may not start at defensive end, but I think you'll definitely see him in the rotation. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had 4 or 5 sacks next season.
All right, well, that'll do it from Spartan Stadium, wrapping up the highest-ranked class in the Mark D'Antonio era.
Still not a consensus
top 20 class,
Still not a
consensus top 20 class, as you pointed out. Yeah. But good. I think good day they feel good about. And we got plenty of coverage about it on mlive.com/Spartans.